All right, all you Redux fans, you've been waiting for this. So let's get an actual dispatch function here. And I'll just paste all of that over all of this. And we'll take a look. The only change here is the increment function is now calling a function called dispatch. And we're now calling that function dispatch rather than set state that we had before. So here we're calling dispatch with an object that has a type of increment. And our reducer is expected to increment the count. So let's go ahead and we're totally going to change this count reducer. So I'll just comment that out for now. We'll make a function called count reducer with the state and the action. And here we're going to make a switch statement to switch on the action type. And our action type here is increment. So we'll say case increment. And in the increment case, we're going to return our new state value. And our new state value is going to be count. And we'll get the existing count from our state. And we'll add 1 to increment it by 1. And that'll do it for us. Now you may have noticed we're adding it by 1, but we've got a step here. So how are we going to get that step to where it needs to go? We can pass that step right here. And now we have action.step. And now this step is configurable. Ta-da! We can increment by 3s. Hooray! One other thing that I always do with my reducer functions that are like this, where we're doing switch statements, is I want to make sure that nobody accidentally typos the action type. And you can do that really effectively with something like TypeScript. But if you're not using TypeScript, then having runtime validation can be really helpful. So my default case is always to throw a new error, unsupported action type, action.type. And now if somebody fat fingers or typos or something, we'll fail fast and we'll say, oh, okay, unsupported action type increment. Yeah, okay, we can fix that. And now it works just fine. So in review, what we did here was we had this set state type of simulation here with our own count reducer, but we wanted to have a more Redux style reducer, not just because the convention is a great one, it should always be applied. Honestly, it should not always be applied, but as your reducer gets to be more complex, having this format for your reducer can make it a little bit easier to maintain. So this convention isn't a requirement of using React Use Reducer, but it's definitely something that's helpful for some cases. And keep in mind that this is a very simple example, so we don't have more than one dispatch type. But if we did, like let's say we had a case for decrement, then we could return the count state.count minus the action.step, and so on and so forth. You'd have plenty of these, making this switch statement really worth the cost.